Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be talking about BNS, BNSS and BSA under forensic medicine. This will be a bit helpful for MCQs and competitive exams, I feel. So starting with BNS, stands for Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, which has replaced IPC or Indian Penal Code. So it basically deals with the what of a crime, like what exactly is a crime and what are its consequences. That's the broad outline of BNS. BNSS stands for Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita, that replaces the Code for Criminal Procedure or CRPC. It basically deals with how the judiciary handles a crime that has been committed. BSA stands for Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, that has replaced the Indian Evidence Act, which basically deals with the admissibility of various types of evidence in the court. Now we'll start with the sections proper. Starting with BNS sections, I'm going to be discussing only the important sections that one must remember for NEET, PG and their regular exams. So there are a few subsections under section 2. So subsection 3 defines who is a child according to law. Subsection 6 defines death. 11 defines good faith. 14 defines injury. 17 defines life. 23 defines what's an oath, and 24 defines what's an offense. So coming to a few sections dealing with criminal responsibility. According to section 18, a person is not liable if he commits a misdeed that occurred by accident or misfortune and without criminal intent. So section 20 renders a child below 7 years safe. 21 renders a child between 7 to 12 years without proper mental maturity. 22 deals with people having unsound mind, also known as McNaughton's rule. And 23 under involuntary intoxication. These four categories of people are not liable for any crime committed. However, if you commit a crime under voluntary intoxication, then you are liable under section 24. Now coming to few sections relating to consent. Section 25 deals with an act not intended to cause death or grievous hurt, which is done by a person aged above 18 years after taking rightful consent. 26 deals with an act done in good faith after rightful consent. 27 deals with act done in good faith for a child or a person of unsound mind. Here, a child is defined as someone below 12 years of age with the consent of the guardian. 28 states in the circumstances in which consent is invalid. That is, if the person is intoxicated or less than 12 years of age, or any misconception involved, or taken under threat. Section 30, also known as the doctrine of anticipation, states that an act done in good faith without consent is not an offense. Now, moving on to sexual assault. So, section 63 defines what constitutes rape. 64, subsection 1 defines the punishment for rape, which consists of rigorous imprisonment for more than 10 years. And 65 subsection 1, for rape on a woman less than 16 years, imprisonment about 20 years. If less than 12 years, you also have to pay a fine or you can get a death sentence. Rape causing permanent vegetative state or death can lead to a similar punishment under section 66. Section 67 sentences a person who has sex with wife without consent during separation to simple imprisonment of 2 to 7 years with a fine. Section 68 deals with custodial rape and the punishment is rigorous imprisonment for 5 to 10 years with a fine. Section 70 deals with gang rape that would result in a rigorous imprisonment of more than 20 years plus fine. If the victim is less than 18 years, you're imprisoned for life. Section 71 deals with repeat offenders, in which the end result is imprisonment for life or a death sentence. 74 deals with assault or criminal force with intent to outrage modesty, which would result in imprisonment up to 5 years with a fine. Unwelcome physical contact or request for sexual favors or pornography can lead to rigorous imprisonment for 3 years with fine under section 75. Criminal force with intent to disrobe is punishable for up to 7 years imprisonment under section 76. Voyeurism, section 77, 1 to 3 years of imprisonment. Stalking, the same punishment under section 78. Words or gestures or acts or insulting modesty has similar punishment under section 79. Section 80 deals with dowry debts, imprisonment for at least 7 years, and cruelty by a husband or relatives would amount to up to 3 years of imprisonment with a fine under section 85. Moving on to miscarriage, infanticide, and crimes involving children. Section 88 defines miscarriage with consent, 89 defines miscarriage without consent, 90 deals with miscarriage deaths, and punishment for Section 88 is imprisonment up to 3 years or fine or both. If quick with the child, you would have up to 7 years of imprisonment. Imprisonment up to 10 years with the fine for without consent, and similar punishment for deaths, but only 10 years if consent was valid taken. 91 deals with preventing live births or causing deaths after birth, for which you would get up to 10 years of imprisonment or fine or both. Death of a quick unborn child would lead to up to 10 years imprisonment with a fine under Section 92. 93 deals with exposure and abandonment of child less than 12 years, which would lead to up to 7 years of imprisonment or fine or both. Concealing the birth by secret disposal of the body would lead to up to 2 years of imprisonment or fine or both. Procuring a child for illicit intercourse, that's less than 18 years, is dealt with by Section 96. 97 deals with kidnapping a child less than 10 years. 98 and 99 deal respectively with the selling and buying of children for prostitution. Under Section 96, the punishment is up to 10 years of imprisonment with fine, up to 7 years imprisonment with fine for 97, up to 10 years imprisonment for 98, and 7 to 14 years of imprisonment for Section 99, and of course fine. Now coming to offences affecting life, Section 100 defines culpable homicide amounting to murder, 101 defines murder, 102 deals with culpable homicide causing the death of a person other than whose death was intended, 103 defines the punishment for murder and punishment for murder by group under subsections 1 and 2. 104 deals with murder by a life convict. 105 states the punishment for culpable homicide. 106 deals with death by negligence. 107 deals with abetment of suicide of a child or a person with unsound mind. And abetment of suicide in general is dealt with by Section 108. 109 deals with attempt to murder, and 110 with attempt to culpable homicide. So for Section 102, with criminal intent, it would lead to life imprisonment, and without criminal intent, you would face up to 10 years of imprisonment with fine. And for 103, you have death or life imprisonment with fine. For 104, the same punishment could continue or it could end in a death sentence. For 105, with intent, you could face life imprisonment or 5 to 10 years with fine. Without intent, but with knowledge, up to 10 years, because knowledge is what makes it culpable homicide. Death by negligence, the general public would face 1 to 5 years of imprisonment with fine, but for doctors it's just 1 to 2 years. And 107, it could be the death or life imprisonment for less than 10 years with fine. Rigorous or simple imprisonment for less than 10 years with fine for abetment of suicide. Attempt to murder, up to 10 years imprisonment with fine, and up to 3 years or fine or both for attempt to culpable homicide. Few small corrections to make here, because the statement is up to 10 years, so this is how it should represent it. Now coming to injuries, Section 114 defines hurt, 115 deals with voluntary hurt, and 115 subsection 2 deals with the punishment for voluntary hurt. 116 defines grievous hurt, 117 defines voluntary grievous hurt and punishment for voluntary grievous hurt. Voluntarily causing grievous hurt, that is 1 year imprisonment or fine up to 10,000 or both for voluntary hurt, and less than 7 years with a fine for grievous hurt caused voluntarily. So Section 118 defines voluntarily causing hurt or grievous hurt by dangerous weapons or means. Just hurt would cause in less than 3 years of imprisonment or a fine up to ₹20,000 or both. Imprisonment of 1 to 10 years, which can extend to life, with a fine for voluntarily causing grievous hurt using dangerous weapons. 122 defines hurt and grievous hurt on provocation. For normal hurt, imprisonment up to 1 month or fine up to ₹5,000 or both. For grievous hurt on provocation, up to 5 years imprisonment or up to ₹10,000 fine or both. 124 defines voluntarily causing grievous hurt and voluntarily attempting vitriolage, that's throwing acid. So for causing grievous hurt by vitriolage, imprisonment of 10 years or up to life, and voluntary attempts would lead to 5 to 7 years of imprisonment with a fine for both. Now 125 deals with hurt and grievous hurt by rash or negligent acts that can endanger the life or personal safety of others. So for normal hurt, it's up to 6 months of imprisonment or up to 5,000 rupees fine or both, and up to 3 years or up to 10,000 fine or both for grievous hurt. 130 defines assault and 131 defines the punishment for assault, that is up to 3 months of imprisonment or up to 1,000 rupees fine or both. Now coming to sections dealing with abduction. 137 deals with the kidnapping of a person from India and kidnapping from lawful guardianship under subsections A and B. And the punishment for kidnapping is also dealt with, that is imprisonment for up to 7 years or fine or both. 138 defines abduction. 141 deals with the importation of underage individuals from overseas, which could imprison you up to 10 years with a fine. 143 defines trafficking, and 144 exploitation of a trafficked person. Both result in rigorous imprisonment with fine. There are 6 scenarios for trafficking in which the punishment varies. And for adult victims, it's 3 to 7 years, and child victims, it's 5 to 10 years of rigorous imprisonment for exploitation of a trafficked person. Now, come the sections dealing with court summons. 206 deals with what happens when you avoid a court summons. 208 deals with the non-attendance and obedience to an order from a public servant. 211 deals with omission to inform a public servant when legally bound. 212 deals with furnishing false information. So just to make it clear, section 206 deals with what happens if you abscond and avoid receiving a summons in the first place, while section 208 deals with what happens if you receive the summons but you do not obey it. So under section 206, for a public servant notice, it's up to 1 month imprisonment or up to 1,000 rupees fine or both. For a court notice, up to 6 months jail or up to 10,000 rupees fine or both. Under section 208, for a public servant notice, it's up to 1 month imprisonment or up to 5,000 rupees or both. For a court notice, it's up to 6 months imprisonment or up to 5,000 rupees fine or both. There are 3 scenarios under section 211. For 212, it's imprisonment up to 6 months or 5,000 fine or both. If concerning an offense, it will be less than 2 years or fine or both. So coming to sections dealing with evidence, 227 defines what is false evidence. 228 defines what is fabricating of false evidence. 229 deals with the punishment for a judicial case or any other normal case. For a judicial case, it would be an imprisonment for less than 7 years, and any other case less than 3 years with a 10,000 and 5,000 rupees fine respectively. 233 deals with using evidence known to be false. 234 deals with issuing false certificates, and 238 causing disappearance or giving false evidence to screen the offender. The same punishment for 233 and 234 as 229, and for 238 there are 3 other scenarios. Now a few other sections that have been asked on and off. 271 deals with the negligent act likely to spread infection. 272 deals with food or drug adulteration. 353 deals with statements conducive to public mischief, and 355 deals with misconduct by a drunken person which could lead to imprisonment for less than 24 hours. Moving on to BNSS sections, 2 subsection 1 defines a cognizable offense. 33 states the duty to give information to police officer. 51 subsection 1 deals with the medical examination of an accused at the request of a police officer, and subsection 2 deals with examining a female accused that has to be done by or under the supervision of a female registered medical practitioner. 52 deals with the medical examination of rape accused. 53 deals with the medical examination of an arrested person by his own request. 63 to 71 deal with summons. 180 gives police the power to examine witnesses. 181 states that oral statements must not be signed. 184 deals with the medical examination of a rape victim. 194 deals with police inquests. 185 gives police the power to summon anyone. 196 deals with magistrate inquest. 326 with the deposition of a medical witness, which is a bit relevant here for us. 366 subsection 1 states that criminal courts must generally held as open courts, and subsection 2 deals with in-camera trials for rape cases. Now moving on to BSA sections, 2 subsection 1 deals with evidence, 26 deals with dying declaration, 39 subsection 1 deals with expert opinion, 110 for presumption of being alive, 111 the presumption of death, 116 BSA deals with legitimacy, 120 deals with presumption of absence of consent, 157 deals with a hostile witness, and 165 deals with procuring or document. Now let's list few important acts that you must remember. McNaughton's rule, Section 22 BNS, Doctrine of Anticipation, Section 30 BNS, and the definition of rape, a pretty sensitive and concerning issue in society today. And 64, 68, 70, 66 and 65 are also a bit relevant to remember. It would help. But 63 you have to remember. 88, 89, 90, 100, 101. What is culpable homicide? What is murder? Death by negligence is pretty clinically relevant. And what's grievous hurt, especially, and what is hurt? Section 114 and 116. Grievous hurt is especially frequently asked in exams and vivas. And along with that, 117 and 130, what is assault? So here are a few tricks to remember few of the BNS sections. So 88 deals with miscarriage. So just flip the 8 a bit and make it look like a fetus. That's how you can remember it deals with miscarriage. Now coming to BNS 68, which deals with custodial rape. Just flip the 68 a bit, make this sus looking man figure and add a bunch of glasses. That's how you can remember that it deals with custodial rape. Now 66, you go 6 feet under. So death or permanent vegetative state of a rape victim. Like that, if you remember 68 and 66, you can remember the nearby numbers as well. And 22 deals with criminal responsibility of the insane. So you can just remember this crazy diagram. That would suffice. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps at least a little bit. So stay tuned for more. See you soon. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you.